Good evening, everyone. Tracking some severe thunderstorms. We have a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect until 9 p.m. Central Time for those of you in northern Warren County, Van Buren County, White County, DeKalb County, Cannon County, and Putnam counties in Middle Tennessee. This is going to be for 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. The reason why I'm coming to you live here is because we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for parts of our area, and this is mainly for areas of the Upper Cumberland. So this would be the McMinnville, Spencer areas, and points north in our area that are involved in this warning. Also, want to point out the blue polygon you see on the southwest corner of the screen. That is a significant weather advisory, also known as a special weather statement for the possibility of some gusty winds and torrential rain and lightning as that moves to the south and east. So those of you in Coffee County, Cannon, southern Rutherford, back through Bedford and points west, that's the blue area. That's the significant weather advisory. But the most significant part of this, at least as far as this line's concerned, at least as far as severe weather is concerned, is in this orange outlined area. This is the severe thunderstorm warning and covers quite a bit of territory here. So you could pretty much draw a line from Interstate 40 and go all the way down to about the Highway 70 south, Highway 30 corridor here in the Upper Cumberland area of Middle Tennessee, and that's pretty much the warning. So and it goes about as far west as just east of Lebanon, down to about Murfreesboro, so pretty much from about MTSU up through Lebanon, points east all the way to the Cumberland County line as well as the Bledsoe County line. So it cuts off as far east as Fall Creek Falls. And again, the main risk with this is 50 to 60 mile an hour wind gusts. There's been a history of some tree damage. I haven't heard of anything more than that at the moment, but again, at this time, this is what we're dealing with here. So, again, if you are in this orange outlined area, which basically is from downtown McMinnville and Spencer, Centertown, points north, get away from windows. You don't have to take safety precautions like tornado precautions, but you definitely want to be away from your windows here as this blows in from west to east. The wind fields in this are fairly strong. I'll check velocity here just to show you what that looks like. And where you see the bright apricot, white, and pink colors here on this map, that indicates that stronger wind. And the good thing here is I'm not seeing any evidence of any rotation or anything along the leading edge, which can happen sometimes in these instances. But so far, I've not seen any evidence of rotation. What I'm seeing is a wall of strong straight line wind moving from west to east, kind of east southeast, so to speak, pretty much going right down Highway 70 and points off from there. So that's the situation there at this time. I'm also sharing this out to my other feeds as well, just so that way we can get this information spread. And also, I'm also broadcasting this live on my YouTube channel at Chase Bryant Weather, so you can subscribe for free on there and watch on there as well. And not to leave anyone out, those of you specifically down in northwest Georgia and over towards Athens and into Monroe County, you've gotten some pretty good rain. Some pop-up thunder showers / downpours have developed in those areas. Those are not severe down in here to the south and east, so just not to forget about you guys. But some of you have gotten some decent rains here today, but not everyone, but some of you have. And in this is the main area that we're watching right in here. And you notice the further south that line goes, especially once you get down south of Columbia towards Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, it really breaks up quite a bit down in here. So that is a sign that at least this southern half is really weakening. The most strongest part that's severe warned is up in here where this orange / yellow polygon is, and that's moving off to the east. And what you may be thinking what this line is that's running out ahead of it, this is what's called a gust front right in here, and I'll draw what that looks like on this map. And I'll move this out of the way so you can see it. So it's basically this line that you see right in here along the leading edge. That's the gust front that's running out ahead of these thunderstorms. And it's actually helping to cut them off and weaken them a good bit as they move off to the east. So we're hopeful here with time, as this gust front continues to outrun these thunderstorms, the hope is that these will eventually weaken as they approach the Cumberland Plateau and move up and over the mountain. But at the same time, though, still need to be on guard, especially from Woodbury down to Centertown, McMinnville, Spencer, Fall Creek Falls, points north to I-40, including the Cookeville area and down towards Smithville and Sparta. You definitely still want to be on alert for the potential of 50 to 60 mile an hour wind gusts. And There is some indication of a little bit of small hail, nothing big, maybe some pea to marble, maybe a penny size hail in a few areas, but that's not really the main focus here with this. The main focus is the potential for damaging winds as this moves off to the east. Again, Crossville, this will be probably in your neighborhood within the, if it holds together, that's a big if. It'll probably be in your area within the next hour to 2 hours, and Pikeville will be around the same time frame. So that's going to be kind of the look of this. Again, the movement of this is moving pretty quickly, so that's the good thing. It's not a slow mover. This line's moving through Middle Tennessee at a very quick rate. It's moving at about 60 miles an hour. Average has been 40 to 50, but it's actually sped up quite a bit in the last 30 minutes or so ever since this has moved off to the east. But again, in case you may be watching from Coffee County or Grundy County or other areas, you don't have a warning or anything like that, but you do have some thunderstorms here to the north and west. They're broken up in here, but you could get some of this scattered thunderstorm activity as it moves south and east in your area within the next hour or so. Again, can't promise that you'll get rain necessarily, but there is the possibility that you could get some, along with some gusty winds here along this leading edge of the gust front as it slides off to the south and east, pretty much right down Interstate 24 in other sense. But again, the main area that's most severe right now, at least as far as severe weather is concerned, is this line right in here, running across Watertown to Carthage, Tennessee, down towards Woodbury. It's moving just past Murfreesboro now. So Murfreesboro, you're good. You're on the back side of this. But it's moving into Woodbury pretty much right now. I mean, you're already getting the gust front, but as well as Dowelltown and Liberty. But you're going to get the heavy rain and thunderstorms here very soon. Again, the wind will precede the rain. So out ahead of this, for those out here to the east along 111 and points west, the first thing you're going to notice is this gust front. That's going to be first. The winds are going to pick up, and then after that, following that, a few minutes after that, will be those heavy downpours, frequent lightning, some additional gusts of wind, and maybe isolated and emitted in here. There could be a little bit of small hail, but nothing big on that. Haven't seen anything big on the hail tracker. And again, no areas of rotation being seen. This is just pretty much a wall of straight line wind blowing from west to east. That could be enough to knock down some tree limbs, maybe knock out power in some areas. So if you don't have your devices charged over here from Spencer and McMinnville points north through Center Hill Lake, Smithville, Sparta, up towards Cookeville and Allgood, you might want to go ahead and charge those devices up now, just in case you were to lose power as this moves to the east. And don't think we have that much of a concern farther south here once you get towards Coffee County and points south, but basically from McMinnville and points north, that's going to be the zone here. If there were to be any kind of power outages or anything, that's probably where it would be. And again, what you see here on this map when I show you the velocity here, and I'll query some of the winds here for you. It's still showing some 50 to 60 here in this red and white color you see on this map. That indicates where the stronger winds are. Again, it's all in one direction, so at least we're not having anything rotating. It's all blown in one direction. So again, 50 to 60 being indicated about 2,000 feet or so off the ground. So down at the surface, a little lower than that, but on average, again, 50 to 60 up in here. And then once you get further south, it weakens quite a bit. Probably more like 30, 40, maybe an isolated gust up to 50 in here, extending from just south of Woodbury through about Beech Grove, Wartrace, south of Shelbyville, and down to the Petersburg area. So that's the situation at this time in those particular areas. So let me get this back on reflectivity so you can actually see the radar. And again, this line you see running out ahead of these thunderstorms up in here, that's the gust front. So that's gonna beat out the rain. So that means you'll get the wind first before you get the rainfall. So let's put some tracks here on this here. Again, this is going to move east at about 60 miles an hour. Now, I will track where from where the heaviest part of these thunderstorms are, so I won't necessarily track the gust front, because again, the gust front will be there about a good 15 minutes before the rain even gets there. So we'll put an estimated track here for those of you in the McMinnville area. This is going to be in Centertown around 8:35. Again, I'm tracking from where the heaviest rain is. So around 8:35 in the Centertown area. McMinnville between 8:30 and 9, so basically around 8:45. Around 9 o'clock in Doyle, and in Spencer, this will be around your area, also around 9 o'clock, as well as the Sparta area. Again, Smithville, you're pretty much looking at about the same time as Centertown, so basically within the next 10 to 20 minutes or so for you. So those are some quick storm tracks. Remember, the times you just saw there on the right of your screen, they're estimated, so they're not exactly precise. So you have to kind of give a little 5-10 minute leeway either way for that, because remember, storm motion's not always constant at that same speed. It can easily oscillate up or down. So again, it just gives you a general idea within the next 30 minutes to an hour where these thunderstorms are going to go across. At least the more intense part of them are going to go. Again, the further south you go, these weaken, they become more scattered. But again, along that leading edge, you're going to get a brief gust of wind as that moves basically right down 41A and also I-24 and 41 here as that moves towards the plateau here, and it'll be there probably for the next hour or so. So again, I haven't seen any new changes here. We'll check the shear rate product on here. I'll get that loaded up here and make sure we don't have anything suspicious here. This is the rotation track, and so far, not seeing anything that really stands out. Now on this product, if you were looking for any kind of rotation or stronger shear, wind shear, you'd be looking for up in here where you see the red and white up here at the top. And so far, I've not seen that. We're staying very low up here in the gray to very light yellow, so that's very encouraging. So that's some good news there. So we're staying on the lower end of that scale. So that's something to look for there on the shear tracker there. So again, nothing really crazy. Storm tops on these. These funnels have collapsed quite a bit, so that's another sign that hopefully these are starting to weaken. We're looking at tops around 30,000 feet roughly within these thunderstorms, especially the northern half, southern half running about 20 to 25,000 feet up. So these aren't very tall thunderstorms, but they are noticeable. I mean, if you looked out to your west and northwest earlier this evening before the sunset, you might have noticed those tall cumulonimbus clouds in the far distance there. These are what it's coming from. These thunderstorms are where those tall cumulonimbus clouds were coming from. So if you were seeing that in the far northwest distance, so this is where it comes from. It's coming from these thunderstorms as they move off to the east. Again, Woodbury's about to get pounded here momentarily with some heavy downpours. You already had the gust front move through, but the winds are going to pick up again here as this moves off to the east. And still seeing a decent bit of lightning here, even though that's decreased a little bit, but you're still seeing some lightning in here. You can tell by these bolts here on the screen. So there's Auburntown. There, you guys are in the middle of this right now, and there's a new scan here. Those of you around the NOAA area of Coffee County up towards Beech Grove, you're getting in on some heavy rain and thunderstorms as we speak. And then Pocahontas, this is knocking on your doorstep here within the next 5 to 10 minutes. And then this is going to pass, probably, it looks like the heaviest, at least this part's going to pass just north of Manchester, but you've got this heavy cell back here towards north of Shelbyville. It's going to move in and produce some heavy rain for you. And again, and then right here on the leading edge is that gust front, so those winds are going to pick up momentarily, probably at least 30 to 40 miles an hour. Again, below severe levels, but it'll be a little gusty nonetheless. And again, here's State Route 53 right here. That's the road that runs from Manchester up to Woodbury. And again, that's heading off to the east. So heads up in Morrison, heads up in Centertown, Viola, Irving College, McMinnville, Rock Island, DeBrail, Green Hill. This is all heading in your direction here within the next 20 minutes or so. Again, give or take a few minutes either direction. Again, Smithville, the gust front's pretty much on top of you right now. Again, the rain and the thunder will follow a few minutes after this first part passes, so get ready for that. And in Center Hill Lake, if you know anybody that happens to be out there on the lake, make sure they're off the lake, inside somewhere until this passes. And then Sparta, you got about a good 20 to 30 minutes before this gets to you. So again, you're looking at about around 9 o'clock or so in that area around Sparta and along the 111 corridor. So basically from Cookeville down to Spencer. So within the next 30 minutes for you guys. Now, nothing going on at the moment across Lincoln County, Moore County, Franklin, Grundy, Marion at this time. But again, these scattered thunderstorms are trying to hold together. Again, they're pretty much broken up here, so The good thing is, as long as they stay broken up like that, they shouldn't organize into anything severe down in here. But you're probably, if you do get anything, you'll probably get some good downpours here and a little bit of thunder and lightning, and then along that leading edge, wind gets a little gusty. But this part down in here is non-severe. So what you see down in here across southern Middle Tennessee, this is non-severe in here. And again, the only severe part is right up in here across the upper Cumberland area. And then let's check on velocities here, see if we got any new wind updates here. And I'll be honest, this has decreased a little in intensity. And I know it looks a little, the colors are pretty bright there around Murfreesboro, but that's overestimating because the storms have already passed there. But along this leading edge here, still getting some 50 to 60 in here, but these values have slowly, and I could put this on a loop for you and show you, these have come down quite a bit from where they were earlier. See how they got really bright there around Watertown down to about Walter Hill Road. Notice now they've come down in intensity just a little bit there. Still very strong, 50 to 60 mile an hour gusts possible in this severe thunderstorm warning area that you see in orange/yellow, but they have come down quite a bit here over the last 10 minutes or so, so that's very encouraging. Again, they haven't weakened totally, but they are coming down in intensity just a little bit. And that's pretty much to be expected as this moves off to the east. Now, real quick, do you want to update these noisy little downpours and some thunder here that are moving across the southeastern ends of the Chattanooga Metro, basically from about Cleveland down through Ooltewah, Fort O area, north of Chickamauga, near Trenton. These are non-severe right in here, but you're getting some pretty good downpours out of these. And then here's another pretty hefty cell that's moving over the Villanelle area of Walker County that's moving towards the south side of Dalton. Again, non-severe there, but you're going to get some heavy downpours, a little bit of thunder and lightning. Wind may get a little gusty with that, but that shouldn't be a big deal. And then up here to the north and east, Tellico Plains, east of Athens to Englewood to Madisonville. Some good rainfall happening here. A little bit of lightning also being indicated, but nothing severe with that. There's a shower trying to develop over Riceville, and then that's pretty much it over here. So along the I-75 corridor. And again, there's a new scan that's coming in, and you can kind of see right here. And now the pink areas that you see on this map, a little quick education on the pink. The pink that you see on here on this reflectivity do indicate a little bit of small hail. As I said, it's not big. If you were to get a little bit of hail, it would be mostly pea. Mainly be pea size to maybe marble, something like that. Nothing big as that moves off to the east. But again, those pink areas you see, pink/purple, that's an indication of a little bit of hail, not large. And then when you get up in these red colors up in here, the red and yellow on here, that's where the heaviest rain is. And of course, green means light rain. So again, where you get all this red and all that, that's where the heaviest of this thunderstorm activity is at this time. So, and we're kind of in the middle between two different radar ranges here. We're kind of in the middle between the Nashville radar and the radar down in Jackson County. That's high top. So you can get kind of two different looks here. Northern half is best look pretty much from the Nashville radar, and then once you get it from about Coffee County south and west, that's usually better looked at from the high top radar. So you're kind of in the middle between two different radar ranges there. So either way gives you a pretty good look at what this is looking like. And this is a broken line that has come down in intensity just a little bit. There's also some more thunderstorms falling in behind this. Now, I can't say for sure if that's going to pull into our area or not. It's hard to say at this point. I mean, the overall movement of that is mostly west to east, so it may move into parts of middle and east Tennessee as well. But again, at the moment, we're non-severe back here to the west. So again, we'll just have to wait and see how all this evolves here. Again, as I said earlier this evening in a post there when I wrote up the earlier write-up there about these thunderstorms, models have not handled this at all today. I mean, in fact, it was showing nothing in our area this afternoon. I mean, it was showing storms earlier this morning, but then it backed off this afternoon. So, and typically in this kind of situation, when you got a broken complex like this, and tends to what happens also in the summertime as well at times, Is in model. In other words, models tend to have a pretty hard time with these little complexes as they move from west to east. They have trouble with placement, timing, looks, all that. So that's why it's always best to make sure that you're kind of staying on top of things in case things were to change. But from the way I'm seeing things here, and from the way I've looked over the way I've seen this line evolve here over the last 30 minutes to an hour or so, it has come down in intensity, and that warning was just updated there. So let me get you the new update on that warning. So you see that flashing on the screen. That means there's a new update. So let me get that out there to you real fast. A severe thunderstorm was located over Smithville at 8:30. It's moving east at 55 miles an hour. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, radar indicated. And locations that are in the path of this include Cookeville, McMinnville, Sparta, Smithville, Woodbury, Carthage, Spencer, Allgood, Monterey, Baxter, Gordonsville, Hickman, South Carthage, Alexandria, Doyle, Dowelltown, Liberty, Auburntown, Centertown, and Hampton's Crossroads. This also includes Interstate 40 between mile markers 253 and 304. So that's the new update on this severe thunderstorm warning that just came in. So again, it's got the most heaviest part of that near Smithville, over Smithville, moving east to 55, but it's pretty heavy down south as well. But yeah, that's where it's being indicated. So again, that's where also the stronger winds, it verifies pretty well here on the velocity. Again, where you see the bright red, white color here, that's where it's indicating that strong wind. Again, blowing basically from west to east, straight line, but that right there can still knock down a few tree limbs. It can knock out power. I mean, it could still knock down some trees, so that's something to be aware of over here to the east. So even though it's come down in intensity a little bit, it's still enough to be mindful that you could have some issues here from basically from I-40 and Cookeville all the way down 111 through Hampton's Crossroads area, down through Bonaire Mountains, Sparta, Doyle, Center Hill Lake, down through Rock Island, McMinnville even, and over towards Spencer and Fall Creek Falls. And that's where this is heading over the next 20 to 30 minutes. So again, the time frames are still about the same here, so no really change in that. So again, pretty much along 111 here. This is going to be pretty much in your area, basically right around 9 o'clock, if not just a little before. So, and as I said, the good thing here is this line's moving through these areas here fairly quickly. We'll just call it a broken line now. So this broken line is moving through fairly quickly at 50 to 60 miles an hour. So if there's any good thing here, it's a quick in and outer. It's not going to last very long in a certain area. Now, there may be a temporary slowdown as this gust front outruns this, but for the most part, though, these things are moving and not stalling. So that's some good news there, at least regarding movement. And also the small hail indicators, they've pretty much have come down a little bit as well, so that's encouraging as well. So that's a good thing to see. And lightning still fairly intense, but that's also come down a little, at least up in here to the north. And then to the south, we'll check on these here. Again, still getting a little bit of pink down in here, but so far this has remained mostly isolated. So if there were to be any small hail, it'd be pretty isolated. But the main thing here are these gusty winds here, and you can see that gust front right along that leading edge. You have to look kind of close here, but you can kind of see where it comes up through Tullahoma and Manchester, all the way down through Lynchburg, and it moving into Fayetteville here. And I can draw it on there for you and show you that. So basically, that's the leading edge of it, about right there. And I'm not sure why McMinnville's not showing up on this map, but this is McMinnville right in here. So just for a point of reference there. So this line is moving something like this. So this gust front will probably, at least the gust front itself, is likely going to make it here on top of the plateaus here. So you'll at least get some gusty wind here along this leading edge of this gust front here as it moves into Franklin County, eventually into Grundy and Van Buren here eventually. So you'll probably get that wind getting a little gusty now. Whether you get any rain or any thunderstorm behind this, that remains to be seen, but there is a pretty decent chance there, the way you see it here, that you could get a quick downpour or maybe a little bit of lightning or something like that on behind this gust front here along the leading edge. So, and again, this goes all the way up to the Kentucky line as well. So it's pretty much, affecting a pretty good area of territory, even though this here's come down quite a bit as well. So again, as to be expected here, as this moves to the east, we are seeing, I do believe, and from the way things are trending, we are seeing that gradual weakening. So that's the good thing with this. I've not seen any new warnings. I've not heard of any new advisories or anything like that are going to be issued. Trust me, it'll pop up on here if we do get any additional advisories or anything like that. For example, if you're looking for a special weather statement or a significant weather advisory, it's this blue polygon you see out here west of Manchester towards Columbia. That's the blue box there. That's the special weather statement. The severe thunderstorm warnings, they will come in this orange that you see here, this orange/yellow you see here. That's the severe thunderstorm warning. And then back out here to the south and west, that's the special weather statement. So that's just the little bit of a way to tell, different warnings, different advisories, all that stuff. Again, still getting some zoom in here. You can still see some lightning here. There's a new stroke right there that was indicated there just west of Pocahontas there in Coffee County, and then there's another new strike there south and west of Smithville there. But again, lightning count has also decreased. I mean, you're still getting some occasional strikes in here, but another sign that thunderstorms are on the weakening trend is when you start seeing a decrease in new lightning strikes. So the ones that you see back in here up towards Carthage, these are mostly older, but the ones along the leading edge there are kind of new, but those have actually decreased some as well. But again, don't be surprised if you get a little bit of thunder and lightning here. So McMinnville, that gust front's pretty much on your doorstep as we speak, and that's moving basically also into from DeKalb County, Tennessee, into White County as well. Morrison's right in the middle of that right now as far as the leading edge of the gust front, down through about Summitville, Manchester, Tullahoma, down through Lynchburg, now moving into Fayetteville as well. And again, that's moving off to the east, and we have a new advisory here that just got posted. So that's the blue flashing polygon that just popped up on there. That's a new special weather statement. And this is going to cover a pretty large area of territory. This is going to be for southeastern Smith, southeastern Rutherford, Warren, Coffee, southeastern Wilson, northern Bedford, Grundy, White, Cannon, DeKalb, southwestern Jackson, Tennessee that is, Van Buren, and Putnam counties through 9:30. So at 8:38, Doppler radar was tracking a strong thunderstorm 7 miles northwest of McMinnville, moving southeast at 50 miles an hour. Hazard is a wind gust of 50 to 55 miles an hour. It's radar indicated. Locations that are in the path of this include Cookeville, Shelbyville, McMinnville, Manchester, Sparta, Smithville, Woodbury, Carthage, Spencer, Allgood, Monterey, Grutley Logger, Tracy City, Baxter, Mont Eagle, Altamont, and Alexandria. Those are the locations that are in the path of this. So this is a new special weather statement, and I just saw also just now that severe thunderstorm warning that was in effect for Warren County, Van Buren County, up north to Interstate 40, that has been canceled. So the severe thunderstorm warning that was in effect, you saw the yellow, orange polygon there go away. That warning has been canceled and has been replaced with this significant weather advisory / special weather statement you see here in the blue. So it covers Grundy County, Coffee County, Bedford County, Van Buren, Warren, Cannon, DeKalb, Tennessee, White County, and also up into Putnam County and Smith County, Tennessee. And that's going to go in effect until 9:30. That's a special weather statement. That's all the areas you see here in blue, including McMinnville, including Tracy City, including Spencer, Beersheba, pretty much all these areas here. So regardless of where you are in those counties, you're under a special weather statement here for the possibility of upwards of 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts and also heavy downpours, a little bit of thunder and lightning until 9:30 p.m. Central Time. Now let's double check and make sure we don't have anything unexpected trying to form here. So far, And everything is staying linear. Nothing really severe at the moment. We'll check on the query, some of these wind speeds, and yeah, these continue to come down quite a bit. So that's some very encouraging news there. So this continues as it approaches the plateau. It's gradually happening, but as these approach the plateau, they are steadily weakening. So that's some great news on that end of things. Again, we're looking along this leading edge, roughly 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts being seen here. I know the print's kind of small there in the middle, but along this leading edge, you're getting some gusty winds and all that. But the good news is that severe thunderstorm that was in effect for Spencer, McMinnville, and up towards Cookeville, that has been canceled. No longer in effect because, and the reason why that warning was canceled was because this line of thunderstorms has fallen below severe levels. Again, to have a severe thunderstorm, your winds have to be 58 miles per hour or greater, the hail has to be 1 inch in size or larger, which would be a quarter. We do not have any of those criterias right now. So those criterias are not being met. These are staying below that. Are these thunderstorms gusty? Yeah. I mean, they're definitely loud, but they're really just average spring thunderstorms at this point. So yeah, it will get a little gusty here along this leading edge here across the plateau and up towards Interstate 40. And even in areas to the south and east, if these storms can make it down towards Chattanooga, if they do, then yeah. But at least as far as like severe weather's concerned, that is lessening significantly. So with that said here, since we don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings, we don't have anything life-threatening happening here, I'm going to sign off here and post this advisory here. So with that said here, we don't have any watches, don't have any warnings in effect. If any were to pop up, if we get any reintensification or any new warnings that pop up, of course, those will be posted on here. So with that said here, I hope you guys have a good night. I'll continue updating here as necessary, and stay with Chase Bryant Weather. I will keep you advised.